Hey everybody, Reef Girl here, and welcome to my channel. It's been a while, and I'm coming to you now with a story of customer service. You know how when you buy something and you think, oh yeah, this thing should be really good, and really what matters is what happens if something isn't so good? Well, that's what this video is about. Just before I get into that, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the thumbs up if you liked the video or you found it useful. What you're watching while I'm talking are clips of my tank over the past 6 or 8 months, just little slices of life in CrazyTownReef. Okay, let's get this story started. About a year ago, I started hearing about products from a company called Prodibio. They were supplements to be added to improve and maintain balances of nutrients and bacteria in the aquarium. So I decided to try and buy some. I live in Canada. It's not easy to get this stuff. Almost always these kinds of things have to be imported. So I started looking around at pricing. And guess what? Aliexpress had them available at a pretty darn good price compared to everywhere else. That's part of this story. I don't buy from Aliexpress very much. I've made 2 purchases in the last, maybe 6 years, and I decided to go ahead and do this. Doing research, comparing among the different vendors that there were, I came across this one vendor who advertised 5 pieces for $50-some. Now, I wondered what 5 pieces meant, because the retail unit for this product is 1 box, and the box contains 6 sets of 5 different products. So my assumption after doing more research was that because the company was changing the format of the product, but I didn't know what that meant, that perhaps this was a liquidation price of sorts. And we all know that the reason we buy stuff from China is because it's cheap. So I went down that road and I decided to buy 2 sets of 5 pieces. My expectation was fully that I would get 5 boxes times 2. And this was after even comparing to other vendors selling the same product. None of those vendors identified it as 5 pieces. So I think it was a pretty reasonable assumption to make that I would be getting 10 boxes for my 5 pieces times 2. A little tiny doubt in the back of my mind. Yep, I'll admit that. Maybe I was being naive, but based on what I could learn, I thought this was a pretty reasonable expectation. So in late November last year, I placed my order and waited. While I was waiting, it just so happened a deal came up on Amazon.com, so I bought 2 more boxes. I should explain that this may seem like overkill, but the thing is, I have 600 gallons of water to treat, and each box contains maybe 1.5 doses for that volume. So it's dosed 2 weeks apart, so by buying 4 boxes, I can get about 6 doses, which is essentially 12-ish weeks, 3 months worth of treating my aquarium. So it isn't an unreasonable amount to have on hand. Okay, so I kept the packaging when it finally arrived from AliExpress, and I didn't make a video at the time because it didn't occur to me that this might be a problem. I also have the packaging from the stuff that arrived from Amazon. Here's a video I made after the product arrived from Amazon, just to record how the two compared. This is the AliExpress box that arrived. As soon as I saw it, I pretty much knew there's no way there were going to be 10 items in here, which is what I was expecting. Here's what the stuff was wrapped in. The boxes were wrapped in this foil. Yeah. Pretty gross. There's the part of the label that had already fallen off by the time I opened it. And here's what I received. That's where the label was. You can see on the back. And this one as well. So this is the condition they were in when I received them. Obviously in a back corner somewhere. Who knows how long they've been there. Because of Prodibio's process, how these things are preserved with nitrogen. They claim to have something like a 7-year expiry, but the packaging sure looked rough. Just to contrast that, here's how they arrived. This is the stuff from Amazon. Nicely packaged in bubble wrap. I did open this one because I used the product. And you can see it's new packaging on the back as well. This impressed me, especially after seeing this. This is pretty awful. And here's another thing. This has clearly got an expiry date on it, 1/15/29. This is the one that came in this nice packaging. And when we look at this package, even with my magnifying glass, I can find no expiry on it anywhere, unless it's somewhere on here in Chinese, but there's no sticker on it. So I have no clue what the expiry is. And yeah, so who knows? It could be 15 years old for all I know. Two things. First of all, I didn't get the quantity of product that was advertised. Second of all, the condition in which the product arrived was pretty bad. Bear with me, this gets a little bit tricky and I'll do my best to explain. If you confirm delivery when your parcel arrives, you're agreeing that you have received what you ordered and it's in a satisfactory condition. Therefore, you should never, ever automatically confirm the delivery without checking into the package first. If your product is not satisfactory in some way and you want to initiate a dispute, you have to wait until Aliexpress confirms delivery. That takes about 5 days, and of course it's based on them confirming that the tracking shows that the item was delivered. Once that 5 days passes, then you can enter into a dispute. If you don't do anything, it just goes ahead as if it's all good. So I waited the 5 days and I entered a dispute. Along with these photos to show the poor condition of the product and how it was packaged, I also proposed that either I will return the products at the vendor's expense and I get a full refund, or I will keep the 2 pieces I got and get a refund of about $89 for the 8 pieces I didn't get. Because remember, the listing clearly stated $56.90 for 5 pieces. I included the screenshot I showed you earlier of the listing with my submission as well. The vendor is supposed to reply within a certain set amount of time. I waited, no reply. When I didn't hear from the vendor, I assumed it's because they recognized that I had a case. And then, pursuant to their customer service process, Aliexpress would step in. The next communication I received from Aliexpress was to say my complaint was valid. So I felt vindicated. It was false advertising. They should have sent 10 items and they only sent 2. But not so fast. The next communication I got was a request to upload further proof. I couldn't think of what further proof I could send, so I resent the same stuff I had sent the first time. A couple days later, here was their response. I apologize for how this is formatted, but this was the only way I could get access to an image that I could show you what was from the email. This is how it printed out, and nothing I did could change it. What I'd suggest is pausing the video and seeing if you can fight your way through the gobbledygook they're describing here. None of that proves their case. I wrote back and I objected, and here's what I said. Why is the seller now involved again? They had 3 days to respond to me when I filed my claim, and they did not have enough respect for me as their customer to respond. So Aliexpress stepped in. Now suddenly the seller is trying to say there is no problem? No. The retail unit is 1 box, a set of 6 vials of each of 5 different products. This provides for a full aquarium treatment plan of about 10 to 12 weeks. This product is never sold in sets of 5 single vials because that does not work when using the product. That is a single dose for a small size aquarium. I feel like I have been scammed. This seller is breaking up the product to deceive buyers into thinking they are getting a better value for their money from this seller when competing against other sellers. I have looked at other product listings for this item, and they do not sell them as 5 pieces for the price. The box of 30 pieces is a single retail unit. The seller could have listed this item as $56 for 1 piece with 2 in stock, and it would have been honest. I learned this product is being sold in a different format by the manufacturer, so it makes sense to me that 5 pieces for $56 would be a liquidation price. Let's not forget the poor condition of the product boxes. Dirty, and the labels are peeling. I have shown this clearly in my photos. I wonder how long this has been sitting on the shelf and if it has been stored properly. Is it even still viable? I am not happy. Aliexpress decided my case was valid after the seller did not reply in the allotted time. Now the seller is unhappy? Too late. They could have stated their case when they were supposed to, but they did not. Why are there deadlines when they are not enforced? How can customers trust this process? If I'm not given a partial refund as requested and approved by Aliexpress, I expect I will receive a full refund by promptly returning the items with tracked shipping prepaid by the seller. After I rejected the seller's proposal and provided my response, I waited. I waited a week. Crickets, nothing. I had no response. So I made a decision to just simply delete my Aliexpress account. I actually deleted all of the correspondence as well, until I started rethinking this whole situation and realizing people might need to know how Aliexpress lets their customers down by tolerating both false advertising and substandard supply of products by their vendors. So I went and recovered all of the deleted correspondence and some video. Just for fun, I recently checked the vendors' listings on Aliexpress. This product was still listed. I guess that means it's back in stock. Guess what? The reference to 5 pieces is no longer there. I'm showing you the screen recording I made of the search I did to find the product. I suggest you pause the video and enlarge it to see what's actually there. I really wasn't able to do much with it. As you can see, 30 pieces, 5 times 6. There is no reference to 5 pieces. So, obviously, they knew they had done wrong. They knew they were being deceptive. We're supposed to be reassured by this so-called buyer protection. Yeah, no, there is no protection. They don't protect their buyers. They protect their sellers. That's my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.